Have you ever dated a metrosexual man? And what is a metrosexual man? Well, we're going to talk about it when we get back. I'm CLM II for Style with Power, the channel that helps empower men through style. Hey, happy Monday. We hope everyone out there had a fantastic weekend as we're coming upon this cold streak on the northeast, and we're going to be hit with a bunch of snow that's coming on. Now it's like snowing crazy, and I'm just dreading that I may have to go out there and shovel, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. We're in the northeast and there's crazy weather out there, but I hope everybody out there is doing well. So listen, if you're into videos that talks about style, talks about fashion, talks about empowerment, and talks about mindset, and now talk about relationships, well, this is the channel for you. So don't forget, hit that subscribe button and hit the little notification bell so you'll know every time we upload a video. And don't forget to give us a like. And if you're on Facebook, give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. We always start our show with our first segment, which is called, What Should I Wear? When? So we're going to discuss whether you should wear a belt or no belt when you're wearing belt loops. So lately in the fashion world, individuals have decided to go without a belt, but they have belt loops. And is that correct or not? Me personally, I'm old school, I'm classic, and I feel that when you have belt loops in your pants, you should wear a belt. Now, I understand that it's in style now to go beltless, but the reason why they have belt loops is for you to use a belt and it was very necessary. You wore a belt because you wanted to make sure that you kept your pants up. But today, individuals that have style understand that it's important to get your clothes fitted. It should fit you nicely. And as I said in my other shows, and as I always preach, it's always best to make sure that you have a tailor on call. When you get yourself a tailor, you can get your stuff altered and it'll fit you just perfect and you'll look great. But even though your pants is fitting perfectly around your waist and you can actually go without a belt, because you have belt loops, I still would say that you should put on a belt. It just makes you look neater. It makes you look like your outfit is finished. It's like you got buttonholes and you don't want to use the button. You don't want to button up your shirts. You want to keep your shirt open even though you have buttonholes. I understand, or you have shoelaces to go in your shoes or sneakers, and you decide that you're not going to put your shoelaces in, and we've seen that style also. But that kind of gives you an unfinished look. So my suggestion is, even if your belt is not being used to keep your pants up, because you have the loops, put a belt in there. And as we know today, they have all types of fancy belts, expensive belts that you can go out and you can buy. So, should you wear a belt if you have belt loops? Absolutely. And if you don't want to wear a belt, then what you should do is get you some pants without belt loops. And that looks even nicer because those will fit you nice and snug, and you don't have to worry about having belt loops and you look unfinished. All right? Hope that makes sense. It's time for our next segment, which is Hot Topics and Current Events. Well, did any of you out there see the Wendy Williams documentary and Wendy Williams picture on Lifetime this weekend? And I'm quite sure that Saturday night was the Wendy Williams night. She was promoting her new movie and her documentary all week. A matter of fact, probably for 2 or 3 weeks, where she was on different shows and she was promoting the movie and promoting the documentary. And I was one of those individuals who watched it. I thought it was really, really good. The movie was really, really okay. It wasn't a great movie. It's a Lifetime movie. It was okay. The young lady who played Wendy, I thought she did a nice job. She had that look like Wendy. She carried herself well. The gentleman who played Kevin Hunter, Wendy's ex-husband, did a really, really good job. I thought he did a nice job. So it was okay. But the documentary that came on after the movie, outstanding. Wendy Williams just put herself out there. And that's one thing that I can always say about Wendy, as I've listened to Wendy ever since she came on radio. Wendy and I are in the same age bracket, so we kind of grew up together. I kind of grew up with Wendy and been following her. I'm a New Yorker from Harlem. She's from Jersey. She built her career in New York City. And I followed her career all of these years. And I can truly say she was really, really honest with everyone about her life. And it was so funny because she says that, for years she's talked about other people on Hot Topics, and now she's being talked about on Hot Topics. And even in this show here, I call this segment Hot Topics and Current Events, and Wendy definitely is the talk of the town. If you haven't seen the movie, I would tell you to go ahead and check it out. Nice job. But you really, really want to see the documentary. As Wendy just puts it all out there, you can tell she really was madly in love with her husband. And still to this day, when she talks about it, she gets really, really emotional. She cried throughout the whole documentary. It showed you her true feelings. And she was really, really, really honest. And she put everything out there on the line. And that's what makes people, love Wendy. Wendy, she doesn't pull any punches. She tells you about herself. You know who she is right up front. And that's fantastic. And I can truly say I've been a fan of Wendy's for years. And I would definitely tell you that if you're not a fan of hers, check out her documentary, Her Life, and you may become a fan because you'll see a really, really genuine individual. Wendy Williams documentary. And it was so funny because she called it What a Mess. And definitely it was a mess. But it was a good mess. And I'm happy for your success, Wendy. If you ever was to see this, I'm happy for your success and keep up the good work. You've been a great example of individuals in this business who's trying to find their way. And what you have proven is that be yourself and you'll find a lane. Our next segment is called What Should I Do in This Situation? Well, recently I heard a story about a female who was in a relationship with a man. She had just met this man and she was building a relationship with him, and it was a really good relationship. And they started to get to know each other, and the gentleman invited her over to his home, over the weekend to spend the weekend with him. And when she got there, she noticed that this was a gentleman who was really, really into aromas and scents. In other words, he was a candle person, he was a body lotion person, he was a cologne individual. House was really, really neat, and he kept everything really, really nice and in place. And usually when a female meets a male like that, the first thing that comes in their mind is that there must be another female around. But this gentleman had been divorced for years, so there wasn't another female around. So, it was hard for her to figure out whether she wanted to be with this man or not, because as I heard the story, she didn't want to be with a man who smelled better than her. And I guess women will be that way. Women is like, listen, I'm the one who should be wearing all the perfume and the body lotions, and when I don't want my man to smell better than me. And I started to think about that, and what do you call those type of men? Well, that's what you call a metrosexual man. So I went and I got the definition of metrosexual, and it's a combination of metropolitan and heterosexual. And it was coined in 1994, describing a man, especially one living in an urban, post-industrial, capitalist culture. That's America, that's New York City, right? Who is especially meticulous about his grooming and his appearance, typically spending a significant amount of time and money on shopping as part of his life. And I've been called a metrosexual. Matter of fact, I call myself a metrosexual man because that's me. I'm that guy. I'm a metrosexual man. So the question is, what does a female do when she meets a man like that, where he has all the qualities that she loves, except he is into grooming and he's into keeping himself smelling good and looking good all the time? And what should a female do with a man like this? So it's a really difficult situation. One of the things that females out there should understand is that if you're looking for a man who has certain qualities that you're really, really looking for, then finding out that he's metrosexual, there could be a way that you can kind of get him to tone it down. Usually with myself, over the years, when I've dated women and they find out that I'm a metrosexual male, what they will do is they will decide what scent they like on me, and they will say, I want you to wear this scent. You like body lotion? Okay, I'm going to get you the body lotion I want you to wear because I want you to smell like this. You like colognes? I'm going to buy you your cologne. You can smell like this. You like to have candles and stuff like that in the home because you want your home to smell well. Okay, now that we're together, I'm going to buy you that stuff so that when I come over, or if we ever live together, it can smell like this. And that's okay, because usually a metrosexual man, he doesn't mind if you as the woman would take over that part of his life, because we understand that women are into that stuff. And if your woman wants you to smell a certain way for her, that's fine, as long as you smell good, because the reason why we wear these things is to attract women. So if the woman that you want is saying, hey, I'm attracted to you, I want you to smell like this, that's great. So ladies, if you find yourself, dating a metrosexual man who's into grooming and keeping himself nice and neat, and probably that's what attracted you to him in the first place, don't throw him away. Just get on in there, and then, slowly but surely, you start to dictate how you want him to smell, and what lotions you want him to buy, and what candles and scents that you want to have around him. And if he's into you and you're into him, he'll definitely listen to it. All right, hope that makes sense. That's it for this week's show, and I will see you next time.